Hello everyone, my name is Supercacti and welcome back to another LEGO review. This is my A30 Challenger set. This set, well, I started making this after I had finished the Talk 2 actually, because they use the same turret. But let's quickly just do the history side of things. So A30 Challenger, this is a British World War II tank. And this is pretty much the evolution of, well, not the evolution, but it's just the British had produced a 17-pounder gun and they needed it on a lot of chassis. So that's where the A30s came from. I believe you've got the A30 Comet and you've got the A30 Challenger, which you see in front of me. So the A30 Challenger has this rather large turret. You would say it's a bit of a downside to have such a big turret, but I actually believe the crew really preferred the Challenger because it was very roomy inside the turret and easy to operate the gun like that. But yeah, like I said, the Talk 2 uses the same turret, although I think Talk 2 might have been up armored later on if they really wanted to produce it, but still. So yeah, after I had made the Lego Talk 2 sets, which I highly recommend you to check out, I thought, I've got the turret, let's make the A30 Challenger. And I also really like the A30 Challenger for some reason. I really cannot explain it. It's just something about the looks that I really quite like. So about the set has 838 parts in it, and that is excluding the tracks. No, wait, I'm saying that wrong. That is including the tracks. Sorry. And there are 142 track links in here. But as you can probably see, the tracks are not your standard Lego ones. That is because, and also I apologize, I ran out of tracks myself, so I only had enough tracks to put them on the right side. But these are custom Lego tracks. You can either get them from Brickmania, the 2 stud wide Brickmania tracks, or you can also get them from Blue Bricks, same again, 2 stud wide Blue Bricks tracks. As long as the 2 studs wide, and they have the same sort of design where they can go onto 2 gears like that, or like this, then they're fully compatible with this set. But again, I simply ran out of them. They were all out of stock, so I had enough for one side, so we'll keep the tank just like this, and that looks just fine. So yeah, 838 parts, that's including the tracks. I'm lazy, so you can count later yourself. Do it minus 142, and you'll know exactly how many parts this thing has. Price-wise, I did a little check. For me, that is in the Netherlands. That'll be 82 euros and 17 cents, but that is most of the time excluding shipping. So I think I'm looking more around the 90 to 100 euro range for this. And if you're from America, that'll be excluding shipping around $100, and including shipping, you're probably looking at 110, 120. It all depends on where you live, really. So the dimensions of the set, and that is including the size of the gun and the antenna at the top here. So this entire box, pretty much, your display size, if you want to call it that. It is 27.4 centimeters long, 9.4 centimeters wide, and 16 centimeters high. And again, the 16 is because of that big antenna. And if you're from America, that'll be 10.8 inches long, 3.7 inches wide, and 6.3 inches high. Now, the set itself is actually more a display set rather than a play set. This was because of one choice I had made in the design of the set, and that is this. I really wanted to get a sort of working suspension in this tank, and that really eliminated how deep I could make the interior of the set. So if I just flip this around, off goes the turret. But here you can sort of see how I did it. It's just with some axles connected to some lift bars, and there you can move independently. But because this is rather deep inside of the vehicle, normally the bottom of the vehicle would be running around right here, and then I could fill it all up in the interior, but now it's halved. The bottom is all the way in the middle right there. Also something I had not ordered all the parts on accident. So if you're going to be building this yourself, this bottom will look a bit beefier and stronger. It's a bit bare bones at the moment. Again, I forgot to buy the parts on accident. Now my entire turret and everything fell off. That was very smart to do, of course. But yeah, the working suspension, I am very happy with this. It seems to be working very smoothly, so you can just run over your own fingers, for example. But you can see that it is sometimes catching on like this. This is mainly because the other side doesn't have the tracks yet, so it's not running as smoothly yet because, well, I'm missing tracks. But also I think my fingers are a bit of an odd slope. If you go more over a gentle slope, it works much better. But again, that sort of shows the more display side of things. If you're going to be displaying this, you could put it on like an object. like this, and then you can see a working suspension while it's displayed. Another thing that makes it more of a display set than anything else, the hatches, all of them, do not actually have any room for minifigures. This was also the same on the Talk 2. These you can open these, but there's no room for your minifigures to put in there. I guess you could put a modified plate with a stud in the middle right there, and then have a 2x2 plate, and then a minifigure body with the head on top of that. So you can display some minifigures, but they don't fit in there all the completely. And same goes for this one. It's just, yeah, you got some studs on the bottom, so you can figure something out, but it's not going to fit an entire minifigure. And driver's hatch, same thing. I do have the little optics, if you want to call it that, for detail. And you can see this is a hinge, but this hinge is directly connected to some more studs on the bottom, so you cannot really open that one in any way. Now let's actually move towards the back. And also when I flipped it upside down, you get that. So as you can see in the back, we've got some chains. I looked at photos of the A30s in real life, and I saw that most of them had chains at the back, so there you go. And I had two of them, so I have one on the left here going around this little stud going towards the back, and on the right we have a shovel and a pickaxe and a chain. I think the chain should actually be below the pickaxe, but oh well. But another thing we can do is we can open these hatches over the engine. So like I said, though, I did not have a whole lot of room for an interior, and let me just remove the turret before that thing all falls off again. But I did manage to squeeze in some detail, as if there's an engine down here. But again, this is mainly just display purposes. You can display it like this with the engine deck open, and have some crew members working on it or something like that. But again, I was rather limited with the amount of size I had. And here we also have two small little hatches, but they don't lead anywhere. But I saw that they did have hatches here in real life, so I just got those plates to get it going. Now, as you've seen a couple of times already when the whole turret fell off too, you can easily remove the turret. There's a little bit of a turret basket modeled in. This is very similar to the one you also still have on the Talk 2, only a bit smaller because, again, how many times am I going to say it, but the interior is smaller. I did not have a whole lot of room for it. And the last thing we can do, we can also remove this top side, which just holds the turret in place. And then here we just have a standard white interior. And here you can still sort of see a slight bit of the engine. But yeah, not a whole lot you can do with the interior. But most British tanks, or pretty much all British tanks, had a white interior. So I got some plates and some panels, and there you go, a white interior. And well, that is actually pretty much it. Aside from, yeah, the gun also moves up and down. Just don't go too crazy, because then the turret comes off. But yeah, that is it for the A30 Challenger. I want to say different sort of set than what I usually do. Mainly because I decided to go all through suspension and looks instead of play functions like hatches and whatever. So yeah, it's something different. But it was really fun to make this one. And also, already having made the turret, which I am a huge fan of. I think this is one of the best looking turrets I've ever made. But yeah, already having that turret made it very easy to make this set. I just had to design the hull, and that is pretty much it. So, that is the end of the video. I hope you all enjoyed this little review. Be sure to check out the set. This will be uploaded to BRICKmeetsDESIGN. I should have probably lead it with that one. But I am part of the BRICKmeetsDESIGN Lego team. It's a new sort of, it's a new team of people that design our own sets, and we have our own website for this. So go check that out. Some of my other sets are already there. If you're looking at camouflage options, we only have the A30 in dark bluish gray, like you see in front of you. I could not really see any sort of camouflage patterns that the A30s were commonly used in, so it's just going to be gray. But of course, you can just, if you buy the instruction manual for this, which is what you will be buying on BRICKmeetsDESIGN, is just the instruction manual. You can recreate it in the Studio or what was the other program called? Lego Digital Designer, I believe. And you can mess around with some other camouflage schemes yourself. But also, be sure to check out my Patreon page. When it comes to selling these Lego instructions, I really do not earn any sort of money that is worth mentioning. I'm just doing this for fun. So if you do want to support me and let me earn some money out of this, you can support me on Patreon. As a Patreon supporter, you get access to the work in progress video. So I think about a couple of weeks ago, I started posting the first sort of renders and photos of the A30. And you also have a much more direct way of contacting me. You can also request certain vehicles. I cannot guarantee that I will make them anytime soon, but I will definitely keep them in the back of my head. If I ever wonder, well, what I'm going to make this time, I'll just do that one that a Patreon support of mine requested. But that is it. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Again, check out the store, check out my Patreon page, like the video, share it, all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys later.